Again, we'll make this interactive. You can ask questions, but please start with explaining what your product is. Thank you. And let's encourage them. It's not easy.
Thank you. Okay, let me explain our products first today. The one-line version of our product is Voxel for AI. So, how Voxel lets a front-end developer write code and deploy it right away. We've taken that idea into AI. So we let you build the work you want AI to do using AI itself. Nowadays, a lot of companies are putting AI in right now, but most of them can get stuck at the point of timing. Okay, so what do we actually have it to do into something that runs in the company? So that's gap we are trying to fill by letting you build the task you want done straight from AI. So,
Sorry.
Okay.
So, what is product?
Nice product builds MCP functionalities for other AI businesses.
That's right.
That's close, yeah. I'm not very clear. I understand products. Can you tell us what the product is?
No.
Let's try again.
Okay. So again, this product is Voxel for AI agent. So in other words, we are aiming at B2B internal efficiency, especially the kind of person-dependent work only one specific person can. So that's the person we most want using our product. So roughly speaking, there are 4 steps. The first, you build an MCP server with AI, host it in one click and a few clicks maybe, and connect it into your AI agent. And after that, you can check it's running properly, from building it to connecting it to checking it. It's all one continuous piece.
So in a company, I have a specific workflow. So I'm recording it, and then I make it an MCP server.
Useful, yeah.
And
User
AI agent
agents, yes.
and tries to learn the workflow.
Yes, it includes.
And what's a use case? Like, what's a good use case?
For example, we will show today's demonstration 2 scenarios. One is to make some documents for a scheduled meeting, and the second one is to make some slide templates given the information of the company. Something like that.
Does the MCP server actually perform the workflow, or does it teach my agent to perform the workflow?
The former one. So our developed MCP server includes such kind of workflow.
You claim to be the Vercel for AI agents. Are you hosting the MCP, or is that?
That's right. We use some cloud network or even on-premise servers if the client hopes so.
I'm still not very clear.
Well, how is the session recorded? Is there an extension that does it, or are they screen sharing?
There are 2 ways. One is by recording the browser session. The other is by chatting with the AI agent.
Chatting with the AI agent?
Yes, so a kind of by recording for MCP servers.
Okay. Do you have customers? Yeah, go on.
Do you think Vercel for AI agents or do you think V0 for MCP server that is better than Vercel for AI agents? Because what I've seen is that you're building MCP servers and V0 builds the websites and then deploys it automatically. If you're not deploying AI agent, but you're deploying MCP server, is that better?
Yes, so basically it's analogous to the use of Voxel to raise some web services using Bustle. So if you want to make use of a kind of MCP servers with your AI agents, our product can perform the deployment, including the hosting and judging its security.
Can you give us a use case of your customer?
We are hoping to be used by some customers who are very interested in the use of AI agents for efficiency.
Efficiency.
Yes.
Okay, so give us an example, like what kind of company is going to use this?
We are conducting with some companies who are very interested in the accelerate their R&D steps because it's a little bit related to our origin. So we are first company for AI for science, and we have many connections between such kind of the company who are very interested in the R&D process to increase their business.
So companies that are doing like scientific research.
Yes, yes.
And like what's a use case? Give us an example.
It includes some experiments conducting or reviewing some information from web or from internal database, I think.
Okay. Do we have a live product demo?
Yes, yes, that's right. So, okay. I think I have explained almost all the list information described here. Okay, so I think this is faster to see than to explain with using display slide. So let me show you our presentation. So Toma, could you share your screen to Zoom, and I will show the Zoom window. Okay, so let me actually show you today. I will use two stories, two tasks that a specific person normally does by hand in the browser. So I walk through the whole thing, turning it into an MCP server and getting it usable from an AI agent. So the first step, we build the server. As you can see, he's not writing code, and all he's doing is running through the usual task in the browser just once, and now it's being recorded. So he starts to create a document for the next meeting or something. He's just retracing what he does every day. And that's a recording done. Now the agent reads what he did and writes a MCP server code for him. And there we go. And instead of recording, you can also just type, I want the server that to blah, blah, like this or something like that into the chat, and you can get the same result. So to create the MCP server and then deploy it, it takes several minutes. So it doesn't take a not so long time, but for the time limit of this session, let us skip to wait to be generated. So next feature is hosting. So normally, this is where you use a standard server and configure it and so on. But here, it's done automatically by multiple clicks. So now it's deployed and the endpoint is live. So he's trying to connect the generator server to the
Cloud.
cloud. He tries to do it because the former MCP server was already connected for the testing. Yeah.
Now in cloud, like what can you ask the MCP server?
To reproduce the result, you can ask the MCP server to prepare for the next meeting or prepare the document or something like that. Then Claude can automatically determine what kind of AI agents are required to do the required task. And then,
Why not create a skill
Mhm.
instead of MCP server?
Of course, we also have a chance to utilize the function of the skills. But if the task is complicated or a sequence of the actual tasks, we can reduce the cost of use of the large size LLM by writing the actual code using our product.
How do the credentials matter? Because like, when people are recording their sessions, a lot of times it's like sensitive data.
Mhm.
Like I think you gave the example of like Google.
Mhm.
Like how does that log in to Google on my behalf? Or is it separate because I'm already logged in with Claude's?
Yes, that's right. You need to be logged in the required services beforehand.
Does that mean that but like that means if someone else on my team, would they be able to use the same MCP? Or is it that it's like per individual?
Yes, that's right.
Does that make sense? It's an individual?
Yes.
How does it only watch browser sessions or is it like a screen recording like kind of legacy software, desktop application?
So far, the product just watching the shared browser only. So our next plan is to enlarge the watched area.
Is it like an extension-based approach? How are you watching the browser?
We utilize Gemini to extract the information from the manipulated browser window.
But it's not work on Chrome.
I'm not sure. Thomas, is it be useful from other browsers other than Chrome? Chrome only. So far. As I said, we plan to increase the watching area into the entire desktop. Then the limit for the kind of the browser will be disappeared.
When you generate the MCP,
Mhm.
the MCP has a lot of different tools vertically. Is this going to give it like one endpoint that does everything from start to end?
That's right. That's right.
Because like in my head, I'm like, well, that example you gave, like you could have a tool that just like lists the Google Drive folder, another one that opens it, another one that's edits it. So and those that are being more reusable across other MCPs.
I
But
see.
you're trying to encapsulate specific workflow end to end as a single entity.
That's right, so far. There might be a more optimized way to divide into multiple AI agents and MCP servers from a single session. But so far.
But it makes sense, like it's V1, V2,
Thank
So I
you.
think like, let's say I have a big company and somebody is like leaving the company. So I want to keep their knowledge, their workflows and all this stuff. Is that the use case?
I think so, because generated MCP servers are not public but private ones for each customer. So they can increase the use of such kind of tacit knowledge inside the company.
But you're targeting R&D organizations, like scientific research.
Yes, we expect as a customers. The other will be some IT consultant companies or something like that, because they also want to increase the number, increase the speed to deploy.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
So is it correct that these so problem or that
Your browser, you mean the recording session or?
So yes, the report session that. How do you actually do?
What does that piece of ration do?
Yeah, what-
Okay.
It's telling cloud what to do.
Mhm.
Indicate what.
So in this case, the generated MCP server uses the API for Google Drive to generate a new document, and information such as the title of the Google document or something like that will be decided by AI agents when it uses this AI MCP server.
Okay, so it doesn't actually console the browser, finds the replicate through different APIs. That's.
The MCP server says like,
Nowadays, we utilize APIs.
we'll create a new documents and do this, do that.
Mm.
So it's-
The instructions are provided by the MCP server, but the tooling and the permissions have to be on the agent side that is executing the MCP.
That's right. So we want to utilize a smart LLM.
If I'm using some websites that's I logged in locally with my account,
Mhm.
but agents on the server could not have my credentials to perform the
That's a
action,
problem.
what happens?
So if you not go into the service you want to use, it might be held. So, from the MCP server, it utilizes OAuth framework to automatically log into the required services. So, which can be at least corrected if a single process fails.
So who wants to give high-level feedback? My biggest question is, have you done customer discovery on this one?
Okay,
Did you
then,
go to like potential customers, like what do they say?
okay, then, I might be easier to explain the answer by showing the slide here. So, unfortunately, since this function I have demonstrated now is very new to our product, so as shown in the right side of this, on this auto generation feature I just showed, we honestly don't have much feedback yet. But I think there's one thing we hear again and again elsewhere from many companies. So we want to keep the tacit knowledge and know-how best people have in a home other people can actually use. So that's exactly what we are betting on with auto generation from this kind of report.
Actually, like in Japan, this is a big problem because Japan's population is declining and qualified employees are leaving. So like retaining that internal knowledge is very important. I just don't know if this is the right form. Like, what do you guys think?
I will give feedback in two directions. One on the presentation, I had trouble understanding the core use case of the product. I would simplify it a little bit more for because your ICP is less technical.
Ideal customer profile.
Yes.
Less technical. I would tone down the technical language a little bit.
Mhm.
Also on the product side, I'm not sure about Japan, but in the US, people are moving away from MCP servers towards more contained skill sets. That's one thing I would consider.
Sorry.
Second,
So MCP servers, when they first came out, there was like, fine. Then people were like, oh, like there's too much, not needed, no one needs it. So there's a pushback now. So
that's correct. And also on the tacit knowledge capture, supporting the browser session and supporting user action captures the how of the how part of the problem. But there's an important why part of the problem that is not easily capturable from user interaction. For example, I'm just I'm a sales professional. I do this and this to fulfill a sales order. But in one sales order, I'm giving net 30 to a customer, another customer to net 90. Why I did that? Capturing that part is also very crucial to maintain the knowledge work of a declining population. That needs to be captured as well. I guess your text input and the chat interface might be helpful to capture that. So those are the things that popped in my head during your presentation.
Thank you.
good point, yeah.
Thank you for the direction.
If I may, yes, so like the way we describe something like this should be much better because like we were very confused for like 10 minutes. So I think we can improve that. Also, like Chad's feedback on the MCP service is really accurate. This to me seems more like a skill approach. Like you watch people and develop a skill that team members can use. Because like skills were literally built for this kind of stuff, I think.
I would position my pitch as like our product watches your employees and builds the company skill library.
It's so valuable. But you were in the gen competition, so you're smarter than us. Maybe you know better. So it's just be fair. Right.
Yeah, I also like example. So if you could just been upfront, like these are the also knowing yes what you use for, know what you don't support,
But understand like the boundaries. When you explained it, it was like, we could record screen and then we could replicate it. But then the questions are like, well, how does authentication work? Like if I open a desktop app, which would be able to do that, or is it on the web? So like sort of understanding, even like, D1, D2, D3, like how you're thinking about, as a first step, we're gonna do, Google only workflows. Step 2 might be sharing that with other programs. Step 3 is like supporting desktop apps. And like some of it may be technical.
So
Possible may not be, but it's just hard to understand.
exactly.
Like this ideal scenario of like what is the perfect use case? It could be like an accountant logs in once a week in order to categorize some journal entry. Like that'd be a great sweet spot. Someone else may say maybe like Chad's point, it's like if there's things that are very like customer specific where you have to look up information on a separate database, that database is not accessible, like that's not a good use case.
So in the US, like when something is too broad and you cannot find the good explanation, you go very niche. You pick one customer segment, someone doing like DNA research, scientists, like we build the skill set of how they do this. And you start from there and then you expand slowly from there. But yeah, kind of out of time.
Yeah.
But thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your presence and recommendations.
All right, so. Next company is Dokuma Labs. What's the whole time?
MCP サーバーって何すかみたいな。マジでそうなるから。
아메리카 이큰 양반 그래서 이런 무슨 의지가
Okay. Yes, so it's sitting there and collecting this information from each lawyer. And in the end of the day, the lawyer gets something like this. What you've been doing. And not only is it some hints for you to make a timesheet, but it's actual timesheet and generated in a way that your law firms want you to do that.
It includes that customer IPS part. They can work on different customers.
Exactly. It's a client, and then each client can have several matters, and even some matters have segments of the work, and that we are detecting all of that.
if I may ask like a very obvious question. So I know many lawyers. They won't like this because they want to do whatever they want to do, right?
That's actually opposite. I was, as engineer, I was, when I was pitched with this idea by my co-founder, I was like, everybody hates the hour trackers. Like as engineer, like if something takes a screenshot of my screen, I will be freaked out. And when we talk to lawyers, none of them worried about privacy because law firms
Not
actually
privacy.
track.
Sorry, not privacy. So my point is this: I know many lawyers, and they say to you like, "I worked on your like work for 4 hours yesterday," and you're like, "Okay, maybe it's gonna tell me like 30 minutes."
You
Are
want
they-
to round up.
They run way up all the time.
Exactly.
Are they okay with it?
Is the clients?
Are the lawyers okay with this?
The lawyers are actually want to know exactly what they're doing because they usually underbill, surprisingly. They never overbill.
But I guess they can track that, what you track and what you bill are separate.
Like my point is, they tell you whatever, and you go with it. You cannot say no, you didn't work on me for 4 hours. But you guys get what I'm saying, right?
But is this for Japanese lawyers or?
It's a good question. I don't have the target
That's the
market.
point. The US lawyers were like, I worked on it for 10 hours yesterday, and you cannot do anything about it.
So I think you correctly identified the problem. Here, I'm talking about the detection layer inside the law firm. What you bill the client, that's a decision of you as a lawyer and also as the client, the matter manager who will put this together. There are going to be hundreds of lawyers, and that will be accumulated. This initial data, if firm chooses to bill clients in some different ways, that they can still do it.
So
It's not,
internal. Yeah.
of course, it's not directly like going
Sorry,
to
do you have customers right now?
We have, I will get to that slide, let me get there. I think here is good. All right, should I show it first and I will have the business side a bit later? Okay.
How do you record time that's not on the computer? Like if I'm doing a phone call.
That's a really good question. So for phone calls, it's actually kind of solved. They're all using Teams and integration with that. YP, we do that integrations. If you actually like print out and sit down with a paper now, we don't detect it. So, but we have this was one of the biggest questions in our first pitch to investors, and we kind of made a bunch of interviews with many lawyers, and about 80 to 90% is basically spent on the laptop. So there is a 10% in courts and stuff like that, which partially covered by calendar, and partially they need still to remember that if they want to enter that. Yes.
Sorry, one more question.
Sure.
Why just lawyers? Why not consultants? Anyone? Is it specific to law, like legal work?
The very detailed billing, the problem that they hate doing and they have problem with it is quite specific to law. Consultants usually bill more like bigger chunks. It's like daily and so on, and more fixed price deals. We kind of have it in our in our pitch deck as we can also expand there, but we have the connections, we have the specific problem in law, and that's so much big enough market to start with. Yes. Try to put here. So this is our product. I hope it works right now with all this. It's called Setup. Basically, just sits there. You're not supposed to interact with it much. It's not supposed to be like this big application. You have your as a lawyer, you have your time management system, your billing system, everything is already there in place. And it's sitting there and records stuff. You can also.
What exactly are you looking for?
Yes, it shows that. Let me move this window. You can do. So we are recording all the business related applications. So for example, I will open this. Oh, sorry, that's super confusing where is everything. Okay, so I just opened some random documents. It's a merger of two stock exchanges that happened 10 years ago. And we are basically recording everything. Like we can record everything. We have access to all the active windows. We have access to the screen. We have access to the Microsoft 365. Even if the laptop is open, you on your phone, email sent, the calendar, all of that. But we are really picky at what we are actually surfacing because a lot of work is like if you're opening your news website, it's not that relevant. So we are right now mostly whitelisting applications that are actually lawyers use for their drafting research, AI use as well nowadays, and so on. Like Microsoft Word, Outlook. I can also turn on we have Outlook, which is again on the other side of the screen. And this is like an email we got about the program, and I might be looking through that and communicating with clients, sending, arranging calendars, all of that kind of gets recorded. Application should not, it does not have to be like on. It will start detecting stuff like here you go, reviewing business combination agreement for New York Stock Exchange and so on, and Deutsche Börse. And that's all like will be piling up here and detecting like here is an email I checked, and it will be all generating headlines for it. But that's not timesheets. That's like your activity feed. Then at the end of the day, lawyer goes to here, and it basically is a screen where they work on their timesheets that they're going to send to their system. And they click generate. They can do it several times a day. Each kind of goes through all their activity, including the one in the cloud, like Microsoft, pulls it all together. That's our like agentic part where all different tools and happening on the back end. And it also checks where each action belongs. We are probably shouldn't go deep into that, but we're doing a bunch of different things to try to understand to which client and matter to attribute that, and eventually you get something like that. So it's the actual billable timesheet with special legal codes here, and billable time already, not the actual time spent, and the evidence, where is it coming from below.
What's the difference between billable time and actual time?
So actual time can be like 1 minute if you have spent 1 minute in a call, but you will bill 6 minutes for that. So you will get $100 for the call.
If I have like a minute call, but 5 of them every like 30 minutes apart.
If it's
Do
all
you chunk them
different,
together?
if it's different clients, obviously not, because you build them separately. If it's the same client, we have a set of rules. How we define that, it actually depends firm by firm. Somebody will actually bill you 6 times. Some will, if it's within the same day, it will be billed together. For others, it might be if it's all in the morning, then yes, but if you have one in the morning and evening, then it's separate.
That's part of the configuration. per
Yes,
firm.
yes, it depends on the firm.
So we are recording the screen. Extracting the entities is expensive compute-wise. What do you use to?
Like almost nothing I did here today, right now, the recording screen in any way. Microsoft Word, we have direct integration with applications through POM, very old Word. As with Outlook, the same. With, if, for example, you're using some applications that we don't directly support, it will start using screenshots, then yes, it will be expensive. And then before I raise my hands when we ask about local models, so we are using smaller models just for the OCR and for some feature extraction.
Yeah, actually, like that's what we're talking about. If you're using clouds for image recognition from the video, like it's gonna bankrupt you. But they're using a local model, which is very smart. So like you have to change the model according to use case.
Are you doing this local, like on their actual device? Like, is there a concern that if you're opening up a pretty sensitive legal document and sending it to Claude, like they might be like, no.
So that was that's a biggest confrontation that ongoing with my co-founder. So he's a lawyer. From beginning he wanted to do the all device. And to be honest, on Mac we even have some demo where like most of the stuff happening locally. Unfortunately, devices that lawyers use today will not allow to run that. So we are ended up using the dedicated deployment in the cloud of the client. They all use Azure. They all have
On-prem.
on-prem. Well, in their cloud, not really on-prem in terms of their office.
So it stays in their own place.
Sorry?
It stays in their like security boundary.
Yes, yes. So they deploy this whole thing, and they don't even let us see that. They only give us logs or some stuff when something happens.
Okay, so we have customers.
So we have pilots. Unfortunately, let me get into the our stage. So we got a product. I've shown you the demo. We started a bit less than 1 year ago, and we talked with a bunch of law firms, and we started with bigger ones. And our goal is actually big ones, like 2,000 plus lawyers. Unfortunately, that I have the next slide, if you have time, I don't know about the problems we're experiencing and how we're tackling it. The biggest problem is change management, is actually getting from pilots to the actual deployment. Those firms are super slow. It's a big problem for us because we need to integrate with their financial system. They need all the certifications to be done. They need us to integrate with their practice management system. We will die as a company sooner than it will happen. So we started with smaller clients right now to prove the point that it works, and that's started. We have right now deployments in 3 law firms across 3 countries, all unpaid.
Which countries?
We have Japan, we have Hong Kong, and Singapore. The bigger law firms that we're talking to is London, New York, Germany. But all of those are started last year in the autumn, so that's fairly slowly ongoing. Not finished, which is promising, but yeah, this is the one, the change management. It requires a lot of effort from them, and AI departments of these firms are like crazily overloaded. There is like every day new AI, all of us. Companies knocking at their door saying they have a new thing that will change their organization. And if we say that you need to change this and this and this and this in order to deploy our systems, they're like, not today, kind of thing. So that's our challenge right now, and that's being really open about it.
It's a very common problem. So we're seeing this here. We have a legal company, called Cernus. They do discovery for like law firms. Discovery is you read like 100,000 documents per case. You had no revenue, but you went through our program at PRA. In March, 0 revenue. End of April, he had $1 million ARR, and now he is like hitting 2 million. So you have to focus on one client, make it work for them, then go to the next one. If you spread too thin, everybody will ask you for like custom features like Singapore, Hong Kong. I would not go there. I would just do Japan. Pick one, take them all the way to a paid contract, then you can go. Because MIT did a survey, and right now corporations are trying every AI tool. They're doing pilots, but 85% of pilots fail because people are just trying everything, but nothing really works. You have to make it work. There's no other way. Sorry.
I was wondering how much this costs because if you're targeting like maybe new firms, they can kind of have more weight product as well as acquiring new customers and showing like, hey, we can show you guys how many minutes we're working on. So I thought maybe it might be good marketing as well. So my question was like, are you targeting new firms and how much it costs?
The cost you mean for the client, not for us, right? So for client, you're doing per seat, and since we don't have paying customers, it's really hard to say how much it costs. But our price tag for bigger ones is $100 per
You're
seat.
saying like new law firms, the younger ones can say we are modern, we are using automated billing. It can be a sales point for them. So that's
not
the old ones.
Right. So the new firms is the same ones we are approaching right now and working with right now. The small firms, to be honest, how to say, for it to become a venturable company or like to get investment, the getting amount of the small companies they need to get, I'm sure this market should be really big. We are we don't have enough support and enough like it all requires a little bit of modifications for each company. Our best strategy right now is to approach bigger ones, like the, again, 2,000 plus lawyers. There are no big law
I
firms.
will push back on that a little bit.
Okay.
So I do a lot of consulting work, so I have the exact same pain points in my life. So I understand the value prop really well. I had to build my own system. Every end of the month, I need to present timesheets to clients. My system, what it does, goes through my email, goes through my calendar. Okay, I had this meeting, then goes to my GitHub. I worked on these different bits, extracts time and creates a timesheet. You're collecting signals at an operating system level. You're tracing application switch. I switched to Outlook. This was the title of the Outlook at the time. Much more granular than what I do, and obviously it's needed in a law firm setting a lot more. But when you want to roll this out at a larger firm scale, you need to have to deal with the IT departments, the CIOs, the CTOs. There will be too much friction to roll this out at an organizational level. To Murat's point, like small law firms, like 5 people and 10 people and less, will be much more. They probably have homebrew systems similar to mine. I don't went through all that stuff. They already have a semi-working homebrew system, and you bring in, okay, you can do this a lot more granular, it's a much easier sell than to sell to a 2,000 account law firm. That will take you an entire year to close the sales cycle as opposed to a 2 weeks rapid sales cycle.
Let's talk about this offline because we know the problem really well and you're not taking the right approach, we think. Any other questions?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what's the go?
Sorry, I can't.
Why did you do? What do you have on pay customers? What are this?
Oh, you mean why you are not taking money from them?
Yeah.
Well, basically we started doing this pilots about 4 months ago, and here it was the first customers, and our product is basically half baked, as most of ours are, I guess, and they basically wanted to have a proof and also feedback. So it's the friendly firms that agreed to that, and for some of them, we will be moving to paid ones. Again, if you're accepting the small scale, a lot of small scale firms approach. But yeah, that's just in situation with initial not ready to use the production product that they agreed to install, which we decided to make unpaid. Maybe that's again a mistake. Yeah, a lot of people tell me that you should just charge. That doesn't matter what the stage of the product is.
Just a lot of those are try for a month and then it renews at X dollars. So then there's at least, you have 1 month to get it right, then they're still signing, you're still going to procurement to approval. So you at least know they have budget for it and they're willing to pay X amount of money.
Right.
So we should talk more offline.
Yes, for sure. I have a couple more slides, but I guess it's out of time. There is
No, actually, we won't be able to do one more company. We have 9 more minutes. You have a question?
Since you're doing the compute on their resources in their cloud, are you doing a per seat license?
Yes. Well, again, we are not. We don't have a contract with one of these big firms. That's
the plan.
That's a plan. Yes. And since they compute on their resources, it will be cheaper, and we will be talking through that. We are at the stage with those big companies where it's more like, let's discuss, and we are discussing what kind of deployments, what the format of this deployment will be, what the boundaries are, what we can access, what AI models we need, where they will run, and so on. Yeah, and we didn't get to that. Surprisingly, they're not very like worried about any pricing issues. Our initial pricing proposals to be like per seat and $100 per seat seems to be quite reasonable compared to other tools.
But let's do your slides.
Yeah, I was just saying that actually the timesheets is was initially our proposal how to enter the market. The legal the law firms, our dream and the vision is actually to do the firm intelligence and AI agent infrastructure, because what we are describing here is very, very granular recording of every single lawyer, what they do, reviewed by the lawyer at the end of the day is a feedback loop on across a firm, like the whole firm scale, with all the artifacts, including documents, emails, meetings, all connected. That's like the dream of data scientists of what kind of all connected data, graph knowledge database of everything that happens in the firm, almost in real time, like with 1 day delay. And that's something that none of the firms we talk to have. And that's something we believe is missing for finding these places where actually automated job, like where AI agents can be actually deployed and work together with a law firm. And law firms are right now struggling to find this, like deploy these AI agents. The only thing that seems to be working so far is this chats interfaces, the Harveys and Agoras of the world, and there's just the drafting tools that's a bit more specialized than normal ChatGPT. So we believe that's a very good market to be in and to enter. We thought timesheets is a way to get in.
Definitely, you have a lot more business intelligence opportunities than timesheets. That's both standard for all these things.
And these things that we actually now, like basically this month, my co-founder was, we just had like this big discussion, and we are kind of thinking of pivoting a little bit and making a proposal, since these big firms, they have troubles of this integrating all of it and working with us. How about we remove this whole timesheet thing, keep the agent only, the detection stuff, which we already have, and they don't have to do much. Well, they still do the stuff, but no learning, no teaching the lawyers how to use it, no replacing the internal systems now, and just go directly to this steps and just couple of, I will skip that. Yeah, so it shows them the delta, what they're billing now, and we will be able to show like what is actually missing and how good would it be to have our system, or maybe already surfacing some stuff they can manually bill on to these clients. And there are a bunch of ideas of how and places based on our interviews and just general thinking about this data that we have, how it can be used. The clients, sometimes they make this initial agreement with the law firms, and then the scope creeps in the middle, like 1 month in. And clients don't know, and in a month they will be surprised with $1 more million on their bill. And we can surface that early. We can surface the mental health, like if some one associate is not making narratives correctly, and it can be surfaced quite quickly with AI. And since we know exactly what he's been doing and what he's been writing, that's can be different things. This hidden billable work that we can find re-engagement of clients, like if we know that some work being done for one client on some, let's say it's M&A on some merger, this new law in place, and client approaches you, we have 10 more clients that had the same agreements this last year. We can re-approach them. There is like so much opportunities we can do.
So we're about to finish, but every company I've ever known does this. They try something, they see the market feedback, they change what they do. That's very normal. That's part of the process, and you should adjust the positioning and the product. 3 of you should meet this afternoon, talk, and come to us tomorrow and tell us what you have in mind. So with ERA, like we go through this a lot. Like every company we have they do customer discovery validation, they run product pilots, and they learn something and they change what they do. So Dan's company that was sold for $1.4 billion, I will tell you what the original company was when they first started. It was a classifieds company. It's like for selling bicycles. And then you were like, that's a stupid idea, change the idea. They changed something else, which was also stupid. Then they changed to native advertising, and that worked. But my point is like they teleported, they didn't tweak, they didn't pivot, they teleported. So with you, you can pivot because legal AI is working. Law firms want to use AI. I would agree with the one previous slide you said. You want to go on like firm-wide intelligence. I think that's a good place to start. Like get one customer, take them all the way to a paid contract, build something for them, integrate with everything, whatever is needed. But you should pivot at this point.
Is the current version of the software, are you collecting information from contents of the windows? Like document dips and stuff like that?
Depends on the application. For example,
kind of Word documents,
Yeah, so-
are you following keystrokes and stuff?
no, not to the keystroke level, but we get access to the document itself.
You read the document and the change set over time.
We don't really now track the changes over time, but we track like at this day and like what the parts are being edited. So to understand, because we were targeting the narratives, what they're doing. Or that's we have already a system in place to get the access to the same information that can be done. For emails, even if you see the proportion of it, you see this whole thread. It's like for most applications, we get a very rich data of what's happening.
Basically, your eye of Sauron.
Kind of, yeah, a bit scary.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Thanks, that was. So the good thing is like he was very direct and honest, and like that really helps. Because it doesn't work. Tomorrow morning, chat will be also like workflow, how it works. Learn a lot. Then we have one-on-one observes with them. So please come prepared for those. We have specific questions, problems you have, ask them very specific questions. And okay. First one is what's there. Working on like this afternoon, kind of like rethink all these things, start making changes. So when you come tomorrow, tell us like you changed this, you started using this harness, now you're doing like this sales or using something, like that's what we want to do.